Hello students, in this session we're going to continue the important diagram from the chapter Animal Kingdom. So today we're going to discuss detail more about the diagram. So the first one we're going to discuss here is types of the coelom. Okay, so these types of the coelom is present as like the cavity. So the body of the organisms are of two types or of three types. That is, the body wall is differentiated into. So based on that, the animal is classified into diploblastic and triploblastic. Diploblastic is 2 layer and triploblastic is 3 layer. So based on the germinal layer. Okay, so outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm and inner endoderm. So between this body wall and the gut wall, there will be the cavity filled. So there is a space which is filled with a cavity. So that cavity filled is called coelom. So based on that type, based on the cavity, the types of coeloms are categorized into 3 types. They are coelom, pseudocoelom, acoelomate. Okay, what are they? They are coelom, pseudocoelom and acoelomate. Come, let us see the diagram. So this is coelom. So here when you see study the diagram, so this will be the outer ectoderm, the outer layer, and inner layer endoderm. This is the middle layer. So in this middle layer, there is a space, right? You can see the space. So this space, this is called as a cavity. So this cavity which is filled with the coelom called, the classification is called coelom. And next one is pseudocoelom. So just refer this diagram and refer this diagram. So what is the difference between these two diagrams? Only this cavity. When you see this cavity, so there will be like a pockets of the mesoglia. Okay, so in the mesoderm layer there will be the pockets. So the remaining space, which is filled with a cavity called pseudocoelom. So what is pseudocoelom? Actually the coelom is present, but the functionally it is not. Okay, so see, the false, pseudo it means false. So there is a space filled cavity with the mesoglia. And next one is acoelomate. So A, it means absent. What does the A means? Absent. It has the outer layer, it has the inner layer, but there is no space in between. Okay, here you can see the space. Here you can see the space, but here you cannot see the space. So only we will be calling that as acoelomate. That is the absence of the body cavity. Okay, so that's all about coelom, pseudocoelom and acoelomate. So here, what is the example? Which phylum comes under this? So acoelomate is phylum Platyhelminthes. Okay, phylum Platyhelminthes. That is the flatworms. Pseudocoelomate, the example is Helminthes, roundworms. And here the coelom, true coelom, it starts present in the phylum Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Heterodermata, and Hemichordata. So all these, the coelom will be present. Okay, so that's all the difference by studying with the help of this diagram the types of coelom. So next we are going to study about the Ascaris Lumbricoid. So Ascaris Lumbricoid is an intestinal roundworm. It is the largest intestinal nematode to infect the human. So only we will be calling this as a parasitizing the human intestine. The adult worm lives in small intestine and grows to length of more than 30 cm. Human is the only natural host and receiver of infection. The roundworm infection occurs worldwide. The number of infected persons is estimated to be more than 2 billion of people. So now we are going to study about the morphology. So the adult worm, the roundworm resembles to the earthworm. It is elongated, tapering to both the ends, anterior being thinner than the posterior. Anterior and the posterior. Freshly excreted worm is yellowish pink in color, which gradually changes into the white. So what will be the size? So the adult male, okay, so adult male will be 15 to 30 cm in length and whereas adult female will be 20 to 40 centimeters length. So when you compare both the male and the male is very short when you compare to the female. The female is longer one. Ascaris Lumbricoid shows the sexual dimorphism, that is, the sexes are separate. This one is male and this one is a female. So what is the difference? See, when you see the animal, so when you see the organism Ascaris, how do you identify whether it's a male or a female when you see the morphological structure? So when you see the animal, okay, these are the two worms. It actually looks like an earthworm. Okay, it looks like an earthworm, but it is a flat. Okay, but it is a round worm. Here you can see here, the body is not segmented. Okay, and when you study the size of the male and the female, the male are very short and the female is long. And most important features about these Ascaris male and the female separation is, see, the male which have the curved tail, here we can see the straight tail. So this will be the second identification of the male and the female. So there will be the presence of a curved tail. So this will be the curved tail and here will be the straight tail. And next difference is, in female, the excreta, that is the outer opening, is called the anal. But here, in female, there will be the outer opening called cloacal aperture. So what was it? Cloacal aperture. In female, it is called as anus. That is, in male, the anus, which is replaced as like cloacal aperture. So what is this special about the cloacal aperture? See here, this cloacal aperture have the two spicule-like structure. Okay, here you can see the two spicule-like structure. So this structure is called pineal setae. Okay, here you can see the two spicules-like structure which leads from the region of the cloacal aperture. So that is called the pineal setae. What is this pineal setae? The pineal setae will be helpful for at the time of during the copulation period when the male and female. So there will be the life process called reproduction. At the time, this pineal setae will be act as a copulatory organ. So this will be the major difference between the male and the female Ascaris lumbricoid. The prawn belongs to the phylum Arthropoda and the class Crustaceae. It is very familiar as nutritious and tasteful food. So there are different species of marine and freshwater prawn. So there are similarities among all the species of the prawn in the internal and the external structures. So now we're going to discuss about the external features of the prawn. The whole body of a prawn is covered by the external covering or external skeleton made up of a substance known as chitin. So chitin will be like the substance which is protect the prawn, the outer shell-like covering called chitin. The external covering or shell is divided into many segments where bands or spots are present. The bands looks like a compartment. The body of a prawn is elongated, bilateral, symmetrical and spindle shaped. The body of the prawn is divided into cephalothorax, abdomen, head. So the cephalothorax is again divided into the two portions, that is, cephalo means head, thorax means what? There will be the neck below region. So head is the anterior part of the cephalothorax. In the head, there are 5 pairs of segmented appendages. They are antennule, antenna, mandible, maxilla and maxilla. Thorax. Just behind the head, thorax is situated. Head and thorax together form the cephalothorax. The first 3 pairs of appendages are maxilla-like and known as maxilliped. So the first 5 pairs of thoracic appendages are used for walking, so that we will be calling as pleropoda. And the second pairs of walking legs are provided with the forceps. So the cephalothorax is covered by the odd covering called carapace. Okay, at the anterior end there will be the black rounded stalked compound eye which is present, so that is called compound eye. which is laterally compressed flat saw-like rostrum. And next one is abdomen. The elongated portion of the body behind the cephalothorax is abdomen. It is round dorsally and is a bit compressed. So the 5 pair of swimming legs are similar. All the legs are get segmented, so only we will be included here in the arthropoda because it has a jointed leg. The 6th or the last abdominal appendages of the uropod or tail fin. So these are very big oar shape. At the end of the abdomen, the pointed portion is known as telson. So the prawn, okay, so the body is divided into the 2 main regions. One is cephalothorax and other one is abdomen. So the body of the prawn is divided into the 2 main regions. One is cephalothorax and abdomen. So this cephalo and thorax, okay, combinedly called as, it bears the head plus the thoracic region. That will be the neck region. So when you study the cephalothorax region, first we want to study about the head. Here the head which have a compound eye, the dark black spotted like a compound eye, where it has the antennule and one antennae for to receive the signal. And next one is here you can see the saw-like structure called rostrum. Whole body of the organism is covered by a shell which is made up of the chitin. Okay, here in the thoracic region, so there will be like the helmet, okay, there will be like the protection. So the protection of the cephalothorax which is done by the carapace. Next, when you see the thoracic region here, it bears a leg, 4 legs. So that is called periopods. Okay, this periopods, the usage, the function is mainly helpful in for walking purpose. For the walking. Next, we proceed with the abdominal region. So the body is segmented and the legs, okay, and the legs are jointed. So only we will be including this into the arthropoda. So the abdominal region bears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 abdominal, okay, 6 position of the abdominal region. Whereas the abdominal regions also bears the legs like a thing called pleopod. So this pleopod will be helpful for swimming in water. So the swimming and running, the main purposes shows the movement, okay. What is a special feature about this abdominal region is the last appendages of the 6th position, that is, it bears the uropod is a tail, okay. So uropod is nothing but is a tail. So here in the 6th appendage region, what happened? There is another one region called telson. So this telson looks like, when you fold your hands like this, it will be looks like this, right? So this will be the shape of this region. So the animal bears, body is differentiated into the cephalothorax and abdomen. Cephalothorax is nothing but, cephalo means head, and the thoracic region. So the special feature about here is pteropod and pleopod. So pteropod will be in walking and pleopod is for the swimming purpose. So that's all about the prawn. Students, so today we studied about the types of coelom, acoelometer, pseudocoelometer and the coelomates. And next one we study about the Ascaris Lumbricoid, and third one is about the prawn, arthropods. So kindly do the practice.